Hi friends. So sorry about the audio quality in this video. I was trying something different. I was trying to remove some background hiss, but instead by moving the microphone closer, I'm just peaking all the time. I should have tested it and I didn't, and so the whole video audio is a lot of peaking. So apologize for that. Hopefully it's still listenable and we'll try to figure it out before the next video. Thanks.
Hello, welcome back. It's Gone Solo Troika. I am your host and storyteller, Royce Rosewood. So excited to be back, find out what happens next. As always, I'm along for the adventure just as much as you all, so it's always great. So in our last episode, it was a big one. Our party all rejoined, defeated the frost bug. Sadly, T-Gem was permanently frozen by the frost spell, and also some villagers gave their lives, but it was overall a victory. They discovered that Ogre Push was actually Grinchout from all those years ago in Dire Prize, and the ghost rope from Dire Prize wrapped him up and destroyed him. So it was big. It was a big epic one. So I've had some time to think. I've cleared up our thread list, and there's some things we need to tie up before we move on to whatever happens next. But that is what we're gonna do. So let's get to it. So the heroes have returned to Godsrain, where things are starting to thaw and melt, and the people are starting to shake off the frost plague. And I think this is a time for celebration, right? So as things start melting, people are cleaning up, and but there's a really festive atmosphere. And that night, I think they do, a huge bonfire. As safe as it is to do a bonfire in a giant tree, I'm sure they have ways. I'm sure they've lived here. They know what they're doing. And so they gather everyone, and it's really festive, and people are cheering, and there's, music and food, and, it's just really celebratory. They meet up with, what is his name? Doringer. And return the salamanders that they found. And Doringer now unfrozen says, "Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you." And he rubs his salamander. Says, "Oh, I missed you so much. I'm so glad you're doing well. Oh, you too. Oh, I'm so proud of what you've been able to accomplish. Thank you, thank you, thank you." All right. So that's all taken care of. Then the party's going on, and it gets late, and so it's dark, but the bonfire is still raging, and there's a moment where Magnaza is sitting staring into the fire, and Pointage comes over and sits down next to her, and she turns to him and says, I want to thank you for coming to save us. You did not have to do it. I did not expect that of you. We had such a brief time together, but I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you. And Pointed says, "No, it is I who should be thanking you. All those days ago when we were in Madwell and you showed me your dancing, that it changed something in me, and I have new information now, things I've been thinking about, things I've been learning about my past, and I feel like a new dwarf, and your dancing inspired me, and your conversation has inspired me, and I still have a lot to work through and think about, but I do not feel that I am a destructive dwarf any longer, and I would like to be like the other dwarves and create and make things. And Magna has a smile. She says, well, I'm glad I could help. I'm glad to hear that. I was frozen in the ice for a while, and when I came out, and fighting Ogre Push once again. After all this time, I realized I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to hunt wizards, no matter how much the price. I just want to dance, and I'm going to go do that. So soon, first opportunity I get, I'm out of here. I'm going to go do that. And Pointed says, well, I wish you well. And she says, well, maybe we could dance now. And she gets up and, she starts to do her dance. And Pointed just kind of, he doesn't really, he's a little stocky, he's a little stiff, but, he kind of is dancing with her, and, a whole bunch of villagers gather around, and there's music, and it's fun. And they're all dancing around the fire. It's fun. It's a fun moment. That's great. So after that, the four of them have all had chances to talk and share, because Dragog and Goldbone don't know Magnaza. They were on the lookout for her to go hunt Grinchout, but it turns out they took care of that. So Dragog has a chance to sit down with Magnaza after they've all talked, and says, well, your friend the dwarf Pointage led us to you, but you have helped us resolve the problem that we were hunting Grinchout, and that turned out to be Ogre Push. So, well, thank you for that. And I want to share our treasure with you. We found this treasure in the Frost Lair. And I know that's one of the reasons that you went into the Frost Lair. So I wanted to give you one of these. I don't know what they are. And he pulls out one of the galaxy spheres that he found. Sort of a bubble, and there's like a swirling galaxy of stars inside. And hands it to her and said, so I hopefully this will help pay your way to your next adventure. And Magnaza looks it over. She's going to try to detect sorcerer's activity. She's going to use her ruby lorgnette. So she pulls out her little spectacle, the ruby spectacles, and she is looking through them as she examines. Okay, so she passed that test. So if there is sorceress activity, she will be able to detect it, or if it's magical. Are they magical? No, they're not magical. But there's something about them. Whatever she's able to usually detect is not present. But there's something else. There's something else strange about them. But she doesn't know what it is. She can't tell. But they are obviously very valuable. And this, assuming she could find a buyer, this would definitely pay her way to Queen's Shadow, where she was trying to get to all those episodes ago, if you recall. So we'll go ahead and make sure that she's got that. As the celebration sort of reaches a peak, and they've been celebrating for a while, Dozens comes out and gets everyone's attention and says, Everyone, please gather around. This is such a exciting and celebratory moment for our community, and I want to thank our brave heroes, those who are living and those who gave their life so that we could be free of the frost plague and the frost lair and the frost bug and Ogre Push the insectomancer. So thank you to our heroes, and everybody cheers and yells and yay. And she says, I've been listening into some of their conversations, and I, as many of you know, am a former Golden Sail Barge pilot. I have seen many of the spheres. I have traveled many places and acquired many rare and unusual things. And so I want to bestow upon you a gift of thanks, something that I know that you're looking for, because part of my eavesdropping, but I have overheard some of your conversations, and I have something that I think will help you. And she pulls out from under a cloth this large sort of bluish, sparkling egg. She says, this is a balloon beast egg, a rare object of magical quality that I know that you are searching for. So this is our thanks to you. And, Dragog and Goldbone and Magnazza and Pointage all gather around and they accept the gift. And, and Circa's up there too. Sorry. I'm just looking at the main character sheet. She's not up there. So. Great. Yeah, there's cheering. And all right, so we resolved that thread too. And bringing it all together, yeah? Just do. They have now found a balloon-based egg, so another thread resolved. And afterwards, they, meet up with Circa, who is still, partially exposed. You can tell that she's a robot, underneath whatever disguise that she has. And she says, I think I've decided to stay in Godsrain, and, I'm not going to be afraid anymore. If people know that I'm a robot, I'm just going to, be who I am and not hide it anymore. So thanks, Magnazza. You inspired me during the battle with the Frostbug. So I'm going to stay and, help rebuild Godsrain with my skills. And Dozens comes over and puts her arm around Circa's shoulder and says, and we thank you, and we appreciate that. And then also pulls Dragog aside and says, I know I had some harsh words with you when you first arrived, and I'm sorry, but I'm glad that you were able to help your home. And of course, we would love you to stay, but I know that is not your wish and not, I think, where your destiny is leading you. But know that you will always have a home in Godsrain. And thank you. Dragog nods, says, yes, thank you. And then, we have a lot of moments to catch up on. And then Dragog has a little moment as things are sort of quieting down. People are starting to go to bed. He has a moment with T-Gem, who he remembers from his days in Godsrain. Growing up in Godsrain, they grew up together. I assume they're of similar age. But Dragog left and T-Gem stayed. And so Dragog goes up to the statue of T-Gem. It's really him. He's frozen over, but it's his statue, and he's got his place of honor in the plaza. And Dragog goes and says, I'm sorry, old friend, that things turned out this way. You always wanted me to stay. You tried to get me to stay, but I felt the call of other things. And now you who wanted to stay, you will stay here forever. Your bravery will be renowned. You, champion of Godsrain. I wish you well, and I know I will be back to see you again. Great. All right. I think that's everything I wanted to wrap up. You get to a place, right? You just got so much going on, and then you have a big moment, and things get resolved, and you just sort of have to tie everything up. So They are going to rest, so I'm going to roll up for that. And I'm also going to count this as time to reflect. So if they have skills that they've used, they have an opportunity to improve them. So I'm going to roll up for healing and let you know what gets improved. Goldbone improved her poison and her climb. All right, so Magnaza improved her disguise, her sword fighting, and her sneak. Rested, refreshed, and reflected. The next morning, the heroes, our party of 4 now, heads out. Dragog and Goldbone are heading back to Troika because they have the balloon beast egg that MacLeod wants. So they're going to take that back to him. Magnaza is going to seek passage to Queen's Shadow, where she was trying to get to all this time, and now she's got the payment. And Pointage is going along. I guess maybe he's going to check up with MacLeod, see if MacLeod needs, anything else. All right, so we know that they have to wind their way down the trunk and head through that little village that they know is called Wandul now. So what happens on their way back to Troika? I'm going to roll on our event table here. I rolled a 5, which is, a player character issue, an inter-team issue. Something happens. A castle, a tower. Well, that makes me think of way back in the forest episode. We know Keg Olympus had that tower, or first or second episode. And the tower where he kept the explosive suit. What was his name? There was that burglar, Vialglu. Remember the Vialglu, the enthusiastic burglar who helped Magnaza and Pointage get into the tower, and then they betrayed him. What if, this is weird and fun, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen. What if Vialglu was also a member of the Guild of Sharp Corners, and Goldbone knew him? Maybe Goldbone, that's where they're based. She was based and where she got trained, because we know there's lots of burglars there. Burglars are adjacent to assassins, right? Crime. They're sort of all getting to know each other and sort of sharing what's been going on in their adventures. Dragog and Goldbone have their whole Ghost Vision story about how that all worked out. And so Magnaza and Pointage are like, we met on a job for MacLeod as well. And, and they're talking through, and they mention Vialglu and, all of that. And Goldbone sort of stops walking. And she was like, wait, that was you? And Magnaza's like, yeah, is there a problem? And Goldbone says, I knew Vialglu. He was one of my friends at the guilds. One of the people who raised me, and you just killed him over a suit? And Pointage says, I'm sorry. I've done a lot of changing since then. I was still in my destructive phase. We didn't know it was a job. Things just kind of got out of hand. And Goldbone says, I'll say. And then it's quiet. Things were fun, and suddenly they are not fun. Goldbone is really upset by that. I'm not sure what to make of all that. That's an interesting complication. Ooh. So, I mean, at the very least, she and Pointage have a little friction. So, anyway, that's interesting. So, Well, they get back to Troika, the bustling metropolis, such as it is. Magnaza says farewell to everyone. She thanks Dragog for the treasure, and they part ways, and she's off to seek passage to Queen's Shadow. So she's going to go off and do her thing. So there they go. Pointage is not too keen to stick around with Goldbone, but they are going to the same place. They're going to go see Mike Annette. Even though Goldbone is, not happy with Pointage. That's going to be a tricky thing for them to work together, which maybe they won't. We'll just sort of see. Goldbone and Dragog, are able to go to the palace of Myconnet. They've returned with the balloon beast egg, which we don't even know what it does. I don't know if that matters. We'll figure that out. But here's the other part. We established, based on the ruins of the robots that they found from the Battle of Dire Price, that the robots were sent by a wizard. And just as with, the identity of Grinshout, I've been sort of thinking that it's one of the three wizards that we know, Myconnet, Kegalimpus, or Ogrepush. Now, it's possible Ogrepush kind of played both sides, right? And, locked down Diaprise and also was responsible for the robots. That's possible. But it could also be Myconnet and Kegalimpus. So, while they're there, I want to test to see if Dragog sees anything in Myconet's vast array of things that indicates that Myconnet is the one who sent the robots all those years ago, the wizardly robots. No, he doesn't see that, but he does see something else. Great. Oh, there is. Oh, okay. It's a robot. So I think what that means is he does see the robots, but Myconnet was not the one responsible. Going through, and he's got all his displays, right? He's got all his, gigas and trinkets and, things. And on display is one of those like segmented tentacles that Dragog has seen. They present Myconnet with the balloon beast egg, and he looks it over and says, very good, very well done. Oh, I am pleased. I am very pleased. This is excellent. This is just what I've been looking for. And Dragog, wanting to engage Myconnet in conversation, says, "Well, yes, we were very glad to come by one. And what can I ask? What does it do?" Wow. Happy. Oh, it doesn't do anything. I just like them. They make me happy. So thank you. You will be very generously compensated, of course, as we agreed to. Yes. And Dragog says, I also wanted to ask. I noticed you have this structure over here. What can you tell me about it? He's pointing to the segmented tentacle, and Myconnet says, yes, one of the robots of Pizak. Yes, one of the machines of the machine sphere, Pizak. Yes, this was an excellent find. I was able to clean it up, and yes, quite an extraordinary feat of both technology and wizardry. Yes, I'm not quite sure how it works, but it is quite the artifact, is it not? And historical as well. You're aware of the history, I am sure. And Dragog says, yes, I am. We wonder who might have been responsible for sending them. And MacLeod, does MacLeod know? Do wizards talk? No, he doesn't know, but he maybe suspects that it's Olympus. Okay, because so here we're putting things together. So MacLeod didn't send the robots, and he stole Olympus's suit. Remember, we stole the explosive suit. Maybe MacLeod suspects Olympus, still is trying to just, why would you have an explosive suit if not to destroy, massive, things like maybe he had tried to do with the robots all those years ago, if Olympus was the one who sent them. And so MacLeod suspects that Olympus is responsible for the robots as well, and is just trying to keep everyone safe, right? I wasn't sure, if MacLeod was good or evil, but it seems like he might be trying to protect others from other wizards, right? It could be the case. He might also have his own agenda, but it seems to me like that's maybe he doesn't know for sure, but he thinks that Olympus might have been responsible. So MacLeod says, well, I'm not sure, but it might have been Olympus. Olympus does have a affinity for strange magical technology and has perhaps a history of destruction. It's best, I think, for everyone if I keep his dangerous artifacts out of reach. So I will have to keep investigating, but I'm not sure about that. Anyway, so he pays Dragog and Goldbone big sacks of money. I think also because they got the balloon beast egg, I think just to be fair, Dragog is going to let Pointage have one of the galaxy spheres as well. So if they have the 3 spheres and the balloon beast egg, that's sort of like 4 treasures between the 4 of them. Well, who ends up with the sphere? Is it Goldbone or Dragog? Yes, for Dragog. No, okay. So Goldbone gets the sphere, and then they just sort of work it out where the share of the balloon beast egg money, Dragog gets a little bit more of the share. They make it all even, but yeah, 4 treasures between the 4 of them. Okay, well, here's how things are playing out in my mind, right? Pointage, remember, was at Diaprise, was a young dwarf during the attack on Diaprise, and while they have taken revenge on Ogrepush / Grinshout, if there's another wizard responsible for sending the robots, those robots that destroyed his home, imprinted on him, and for the past 200 years have given him destructive tendencies rather than the creative tendencies that he is born to, Pointage might want to seek revenge. He might want to resolve that. So with that information, Pointage might go off and try to hunt down Olympus. Dragog, fully funded, would probably head to the library to seek the Sphere of the Gods. So what does Goldbone do? Goldbone doesn't really want to go with Pointage because of this tension between them now. So they've said goodbye to MacLeod, and they go off and they're sort of on one of the porticos or balconies, or descending stairs to leave the palace. And Dragog says, well, it's been quite the adventure, and I am very keen to get back to that hidden library at Diaprise and seek information about the Sphere of the Gods. Our either of you interested in accompanying me? And Pointage says, no. If there's a possibility that Olympus was responsible for the destruction of Diaprise, my home, I need to seek him out. I need to find him and learn what the truth is. Goldbone, I am sorry that I killed your friend, and I don't know if there's anything that I can do to make up for it. And Goldbone has a tender heart and is empathetic and says, you really care? You want to make it up to me? And Pointage says, yes, if there's anything that I can do. And Goldbone thinks, says, well, if it's true what you say, that you want to hold those responsible for the destruction of Diaprise, then I will go with you. And I will see. And how you handle this will let me know who you really are. And I will watch you. And if you do as you say, and if you make amends, then I will consider the death of my friend resolved. And Dragog says, well, looks like you're on your own then. You have your own place to be, your own place to go. I will go off and pursue my thing. So here's what we're doing, friends. Magnaza's going off to go do her thing. Dragog's going off to go do his thing. And look, it's Pointage and Goldbone off to investigate Olympus. So I guess that's our thread, huh? Did Olympus send the robots of Pazak to Diaprise? That's an interesting question, and one we will find out. We will follow up with Dragog and Magnaza in the future, and I have some ideas about how we're going to do that. But for now, I think we're going to follow Pointage and Goldbone as they investigate Olympus again. I guess we're going to be heading back to Madwell. This is very interesting. Things are coming around. All right. Well, I think we'll stop it there, friends. Thanks so much for sticking around, following this crazy journey as we go. We never really know where things are going to end up, but seems like we've got sort of the next little thing that we're going to take care of. We're going to investigate. I really have no idea what's going to happen now. Like I said, we will follow up with Dragog and Magnaza in the future, but for now, we're going to follow this thing. So thanks so much for following along. I really appreciate it. It's really fun making these adventures. So if you've been enjoying, please subscribe, please share with a friend, share it with someone who you think would enjoy this. Thanks so much. This is Science Fantasy Awesome, and you, yes, you, the one who's watching this, you are awesome.